The dim light of Arinax 7 flickered against the curved, metallic walls of the hangar, casting elongated shadows that danced like specters of war. The air buzzed with an electric tension, palpable yet unspoken, as a squad of elite alien snipers prepared for what could become a turning point in their long-standing mission. Today was different. Today they were on the brink of confronting an enemy whose skin was softer, tactics far blunter, yet so utterly unpredictable that it would challenge the very foundations of their combat doctrine. Zar'karn Flexi IV adjusted his scope, a sleek visor enhanced with cutting-edge technology that transmitted the distant sounds of chaos into his ears. He peered into the shifting panorama of the battlefield, where two ragged lines of warriors, one human, one alien, clashed violently for control of a dusty outpost on the fringes of their contested territory. The humans moved with a ferocity that seemed almost reckless, defying the strictures of any recognized military strategy. Every instinct in Zar'karn's genetically engineered being screamed at him to remain stoic, yet he found himself drawn in, reluctant to take his eyes off a human who was rolling and tumbling through a storm of fire. "Zar, you watching?" Focus barked Instax's Quirrell, his expression taut, sharp emerald eyes narrowing as he adjusted the calibration on his advanced sniper rifle. Instax was the embodiment of precision, a battle-hardened veteran who wore his experience like a second skin. Calculated and disciplined, he preferred conflict to be measured and choreographed, as opposed to the chaotic ballet unfolding before them. "Of course I'm watching," Zar'karn muttered, shaking his head in disbelief. "But look at that one rolling." Rolling laughter bubbled forth involuntarily, spilling from him like a jester's joke. "We can't possibly take them seriously anymore." At that moment, a commanding presence darkened the doorway. Commander Volker strode over, exuding authority with every step, her skin a primordial shade of gray punctuated with swirls of deep green glimmering to denote her agitation. With tentacle-like arms resting regally on her hips, she glared at Zar'karn with intensity powerful enough to dispel his amusement. "This is no time for levity, if you underestimate them." "I think they're hilarious," Zar'karn interjected, incapable of suppressing his mirth. "It's as if they believe they can just get up and dance while we stand here like statues. How quaint." "More like dumb statues," Instax chimed in, irritation coloring his tone as he honed in on the human antics below. "They display no respect for the bound protocols of combat." As their unexpected camaraderie echoed in the space, a sudden, resonating clang jolted the trio from their banter, refocusing their attention on the battlefield. An audacious human leapt from behind cover, and with breathtaking agility, skidded to a stop, taking aim just as he hit the ground. In a matter of seconds, he fired 3 shots in rapid succession, shattering the conventional rules of marksmanship that had been drilled into them since childhood. Instax cursed beneath his breath, eyes wide in disbelief. "That's reckless. He'll get himself killed." "I don't think that's his concern at the moment," Zar'karn breathed, eyes widening in shock as he watched the humans' rounds find their intended marks, sending 2 alien soldiers sprawling as if their shared existence had suddenly ceased. In an involuntary thrill coursed through him. Or maybe it is. Zar'karn struggled to comprehend the reality unfolding before him. The human was not just surviving, he was thriving in this pandemonium, performing as if he had stepped into a realm meant only for legends. The realization clicked in Zar'karn's mind: they intentionally throw caution to the wind. Or they're simply mad, Instax snarled, refocusing his scope. But the question remains, are they clever enough to survive or too reckless to live? Either way, it's infuriating. Volker paced with a purpose, her skin flashing signals of rising agitation. "Don't underestimate them. That erratic behavior can mask cunning. Remember our mission: lock onto targets, execute with precision." Despite her authoritative words, a weight pressed down on Zar'karn. He could barely refocus, the muted laughter of their earlier banter ringing eerily in his ears. The human sniper continued to dive and roll, fire and laugh, unexpectedly occupying the center stage of the entire conflict. He's confident, a reckless confidence. Instax's weapon bucked against his shoulder as he squeezed the trigger. A human soldier near the outpost dropped to the ground, hit hard in the shoulder. "Do you see that?" hit Instax jabbed, irritation threading through his voice. "Congratulations, you hit something," Zar'karn retorted, a hint of mock pride washing over him. He swiftly adjusted his aim, just as a human soldier darted forward to retrieve gear from a fallen comrade, a calculated risk amid the chaos. Who does that? They're as loose as an unhinged door. Where's the fear? The words escaped Zar'karn before he could stop himself, an echo of disbelief swirling in the formidable hangar. but their laughter turned stale as the human sniper swiftly rendered another cover non-viable, executing the shot not with precision but with sheer audacity. The air grew thick with silence, a perfect breeding ground for dread. "We're losing the tactical advantage," Volkra uttered, her voice imbued with an unfamiliar uncertainty. Not just that, Instax added, frustration clawing at his expertly controlled demeanor. "They don't conform to patterns we've been bred to exploit. They're improvising, adapting, gleefully defying the rules of engagement." "Maybe they are a kind of intelligent madness," Zar'karn said slowly, feeling fibers of tension coil through his muscles. For so long he had viewed their race as the epitome of battlefield excellence. Yet now, that belief trembled under the weight of self-doubt. Madness that could prop up their defenses and carry them to victory. Volkra snapped her gaze onto him, a fierce light igniting in her eyes. "We cannot, must not, accept that they may redefine combat as we know it. If they win today, it could embolden their kind. We cannot allow this observation to drift beyond these walls. Prepare the next count, your sights need precision." Suddenly the laughter that had echoed just moments ago faded into the air, replaced by a heavy shroud of impending dread. Zar'karn felt the weight of it smother him. The humans were so talented and boldly brazen, a volatile mix that ignited something he had never allowed himself to feel before: fear. Yet within that fear, a flicker of excitement ignited. There was an unparalleled charm in chaos, and it scared him. Once more he focused intently on the battlefield, trying to grasp the fleeting sense of control flooding away from him. One of the humans had retrieved a gaudy, bright object, a noise-making device designed to distract. He hurled it skyward with unexpected finesse. As it exploded in a demonstration of colorful confusion, it drew the attention of the larger group of soldiers above, creating a fleeting moment of vulnerability. "Quick! Get a read on their movements," Instax shouted, adrenaline pumping through him like a river. "We must seize control of this chaos." But Zar'karn realized soon enough that such control was a long-lost dream. The humans were reveling in their newfound freedom, and a storm of profound realization ignited within him. Today was no ordinary battle. It felt instead like the dawning of a new era. Above the sounds of gunfire and unfurling chaos, an unmistakable bell tolled, resonating throughout the cold, steel confines of their hangar. The call of evolution echoed louder than any weapon. Adapt or fall. For an elite race of sharpshooters commanded by precision, it was a crushing thought. The rules of war had shifted before their eyes. Was dominance truly slipping away? Would he find meaning in embracing disarray rather than burying himself in calculated shots? Zar'karn couldn't shake the revelation coursing through his veins, the realization that a daunting and strangely intoxicating truth lay before them: the future might belong to the humans. As the laughter echoed around them, Zar'karn Flexi IV felt a warmth weave through the frigid remnants of his hallowed beliefs. Here, beneath the roar of weapons and the flickering shadows of battle, he realized that bravery wove itself into connections established not merely by duty but rather by a shared heartbeat. The human soldiers surged forward like a wave, vibrant and unyielding, their spontaneity unwinding the meticulous strategies that had become second nature to Zar'karn and his kind. Instead of the cold, calculated approach they had rehearsed for eons, they were now participating in an intricate choreography, one enabled by trust and the raw, galvanizing power of unpredictability. "Cover the left flank," Volkra shouted, her voice slicing through the din. Instax nodded, the determination in his emerald eyes sharpening as he joined Zar'karn's drive toward the forefront. Their group was becoming a unit, their movements mirrored by the unpredictable enthusiasm of their human counterparts. Zar'karn fired off a series of rounds, hits echoing out in a choreographed rhythm as he guided their odd partnership through chaotic storms. Humans dropped with laughter still on their lips, while others leapt over debris to reclaim the initiative. The scene felt intoxicatingly alive. It spiraled into a lovely disarray that mesmerized him, pulling him deeper into the embrace of a new kind of warfare. As they weaved among the chaos, embracing danger as a playful partner, rather than a fearsome opponent, Zar'karn couldn't help but notice how human quirks could be transformed into tactical advantages. A soldier twisted over a disaster zone while shouting vibrant banter, maintaining both agility and a sense of levity. The implosion of an enemy barricade behind them further fueled the fray. A desperate human grabbed Zar'karn's arm, his face alight with exhilaration. "We're redefining victory." Zar'karn laughed, caught off guard by the rush of camaraderie. "We're redefining everything," he roared back, channeling that electricity into each motion. In those fleeting exchanges, Each moment became a brushstroke on an enormous canvas, a combination of ingenuity and resilience. They were painting together a beautifully chaotic mural of courage punctuated by the absurdity of their circumstances. Instax made a daring advance alongside the hapless human who had initially sparked this revelation. He called out, "Flank left." "Keep the pressure up," each word vibrated with urgency, merging into the exuberance of the battle soundscape. Within the chaos, Zar'karn felt discontent shatter, remnants of prejudice crumbling under the weight of connection. Each human scream, each cackle of disbelief paralleled the howl of his own pulse, throwing off shackles set long ago. They were in this together, a melange of beings enhancing the brilliance found in frailty and unpredictability. Amid the clattering weapons and running feet, Volkra's multifaceted gaze caught Zar'karn's just as she took aim and fired into the fray. "There's no going back, is there?" "No," Zar'karn replied, with clarity coursing through him like nectar. "What we once thought our greatest asset, the rigid structure of our existence, was a chain we are finally breaking free from. We are stronger together. We can grow because of them." "Let that spirit guide us," Volkra shouted, her tentacles raised high in defiance of the disarray, embracing the unexpected allegiance that smoldered before them. "Advance, adapt as one, embrace the madness." As they charged ahead, the air shifted like a tide, vibrating with solidarity between warrior and comrade alike. A human sergeant rallied a crew of soldiers, hollering through the smoke, "We're not leaving anyone behind. Keep it tight. Right by my side." Instax took a position on a nearby mound, his rifle aimed at the enemy, flame and perspective sharpened. "Zar. The flanking maneuver begins. Move." The rush electrified the trio: Instax, Volkra, and Zar'karn, slingshotting around corners as they surveyed the battlefield. The human reinforcements fell into place beside them seamlessly, and for a moment they simply existed, merging boundaries as the battlefield environment twirled into an exhilarating clash of color and sound. Their formation reassembled organically, drawing strength from the unfolding chaos. Bolstered by laughter, threaded through with a sense of raw unity, they engaged the enemy methodically through shared movements that felt akin to dancers interpreting the moments of a saga together. The tide shifted as the humans overwhelmed their opponents with frenzy. The exhilarating waves of victory began to drift over the conflict. Sightings of their opponent dwindled, uncertainty taking a backseat to rhythm as Zar'karn adapted his aim to match the newfound patterns of his unwitting allies. But suddenly Zar'karn sensed a shift, a reckless energy thrumming in the air became heavy with consequence. They pressed further, pushing against the enemy lines with newfound vigor, yet a lingering whisper in the back of his mind warned of the depths of folly in their fervor. "Retreat," a human sergeant yelled, voice honest in urgency amid the brilliant thrum of human laughter. A cornered enemy soldier, terrified, made a desperate move, calling for a grenade to take their blow to a broader canvas. In a heartbeat, a sheer, endless moment, everything drew taut with the potential for calamity. The wounding laughter faded, the weight of gravity fell hard. Time stretched, breathing like a living creature, and before he even comprehended the flash that followed, everything shattered. Zar'karn's instincts flared. "No, no, get down," he cried, more a primal roar than a command, as he pushed Volkra and Instax toward cover. With a flash of brilliance and an overwhelming thunderclap, the ground erupted in a kaleidoscope of destruction. Dust hung thick in the air, robbing them momentarily of sight and breath. The noise faded swiftly into an eerie silence, broken only by distant echoes of shell bursts. Zar'karn lay pressed to the ground, pulse thrumming violently in his chest. Shrapnel lay scattered around them like remnants of a scattered constellation. Suddenly, the dance felt jarringly uncertain. "Are we?" Instax muttered, the brave warrior now laced with fear. Zar'karn's heart thudded loudly in the claustrophobic void. He rose slowly, the world around him coming back into focus, investiture lingering in every breath. "Check for survivors," he commanded, voice steadying though it quaked within him. "Make sure our new allies are intact." The group crawled back into focus, flashes of vibrant colors and laughter weakened under the weight of shrapnel-scarred earth and twisted metal. He stumbled forward, adrenaline riveted behind his eyes. There, amidst the debris, the remnants of laughter, he saw it in the face of a bewildered soldier, one who had fought beside them moments before, still grappling with the aftershock. It was both terror and resilience intertwined, shimmering with an untold story that echoed far beyond confrontation. "Zar'karn. Get over here," Volkra shouted, urgency snapping him into motion. The sight rolled over him, the human group regrouping, their resilience erupting amid the scars left behind. Laughter returned in waves as they helped one another rise and dust away defeat. Crumpled soldiers understood, their laughs re-emerging like aftershocks. In that moment of chaos, reason slipped through the chaos, but so too did Zar'karn's understanding evolve further. No victory was born from avoiding risks, rather they forged connections with those they fought beside, buoyed by the fellowship they shared. Together, Zar'karn whispered quietly, overwhelmed by the moment of revelation. That's how we thrive. As they began to reform, pairing strength with laughter, he felt an enduring bond binding them, a tapestry ever changed through struggle. Comedians threading their fate together in a world suffused with unexpected beauty. The battlefield, once steeped in fear and chaos, now shimmered with a reality wrestled free of its constraints, a world reborn in laughter and unity. Absurdity transmuted into strength. Challenges morphed into connection. And Zar'karn Flexi IV smiled, heart buoyed, feeling the pulse of something irrevocably powerful in this beautiful chaos. Together they would face whatever came next, laughter ringing forever in their ears, a new symphony woven from the kiln of battle, laughter echoing through the ruins of their past, illuminating a brilliant path ahead. The aftermath of the battle settled into a lull, leaving behind a battlefield touched with the remnants of laughter and the thrill of newfound camaraderie. As the last echoes of gunfire faded, Zar'karn Flexi IV surveyed the scene before him. The wounded were being tended to, and celebrations erupted amongst the human soldiers and their alien counterparts, bonds forged under fire igniting a sense of unity across cultures. Jack Hawk Thompson stood beside him, exuberance pouring from him like sunlight. Did you see that charge? Jack couldn't help but beam, his infectious grin igniting a sense of euphoria in Zar'karn. We turned their own tactics against them. This day will be remembered. Zar'karn nodded, feeling a warmth in his chest, a sensation that was foreign yet welcome. There is strength in our alliance that I had dismissed before. I can see now that chaos can be shaped into order, into purpose. The concept stirred something deep within him, challenging everything he'd ever learned about war. With each step forward that the coalition took, he felt the boundaries of tradition shatter, each crack revealing a kaleidoscope of possibilities. In this moment, Zar'karn was free. A nearby group of humans erupted into cheers, calling Jack and Zar'karn over to join the festivities. Come on, this is a victory worth celebrating, one of the soldiers shouted, waving them toward a makeshift banner strung between two twisted trees. As they approached, Zar'karn found himself enveloped in the warmth of their camaraderie. Human laughter spilled into the air, vibrant and inviting. What do we do next? He shouted over the joyous din. We've won this battle. But what of the next? First, Jack laughed, clapping a hand on Zar'karn's shoulder. We celebrate this victory. After that, we look ahead. We strategize with our new allies. He turned and called toward the throng. All right, everyone, listen up. The noise quieted, curiosity emanating from the soldiers. Zar'karn here has something to share. Jack gestured grandly, pulling Zar'karn to the forefront, his enthusiasm nearly contagious. Feeling suddenly exposed but filled with purpose, Zar'karn took a deep breath to steady himself. Today we face challenges unlike any I have encountered before. He began, his voice clear and steady. An enemy we fought for too long is not just defeated. We have shown them that unpredictability and creativity to embrace the chaos can turn the tide of battle. Cheers erupted, encouragement bubbling through the ranks. The pride swelling around him lifted his spirit even higher. Together, as allies now, we are stronger. Let us not forget our success is not simply in victory, but also in this new union we have forged amidst the laughter and uncertainty. His words ignited a fire as Jack chimed with passion. Exactly. Let's take this friendship forward. Let's share our stories, our ways. Together, we'll make sure that tomorrow's battles will leave nothing but laughs instead of scars. Zar'karn could see it, the determination lighting up the faces around him. They were forging history in the moment. A worldwide celebration erupted as soldiers of both races intermingled, sharing food, laughter colliding amid the smoky remnants of war. After a while, as the cheers faded into raucous storytelling, Zar'karn found himself drawn to a smaller gathering. A mix of soldiers were seated on the ground, huddled together and engaged in animated conversations. There he spotted Volcra, her stern demeanor softened as she laughed alongside a human soldier who waved a makeshift flag crafted from remnants of their battle. There's the spirit, Zar'karn remarked, grinning down at Jack. Even Volcra has given in to joy. His heart surged with hope at their celebratory unity. Perhaps there was indeed a path into a peaceful future woven with threads of difference and humor. Of course, Jack replied enthusiastically. She's tough as nails, but she knows victory is meant to be enjoyed. Yelling back to the larger gather, Jack called, "All right, let's get this party rolling. Who's got the drinks?" Zar'karn raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Drinks." Jack chuckled knowingly. "Oh, you're in for a treat. Let's just say humans celebrate victories with a little liquid camaraderie." They made their way through the throng, laughter and storytelling weaving an intricate web as they paused to mingle, sharing tales of odd battles and absurd moments that had defined their respective journeys. Each story added layers of richness to their bond, bridging the gulf of difference between their civilizations. As Jack and Zar'karn moved deeper into the festivities, a humble gathering surrounded them, where an earthling shared a strange drink that sparkled like stars in the night. "Here it is," the soldier announced, craftily pouring what appeared to be a luminous fluid into small cups decorated haphazardly with alien designs and insignia. "Take a sip, it'll put hair on your chin," Jack winked playfully, raising his cup toward Zar'karn. The atmosphere roared with laughter, each voice rising above the last as they took a shared gulp. With each twinkle of sparkle exploding on his tongue, Zar'karn felt a warmth swirling inside, a seed of hope planted firmly in resilience and adaptation. He turned to Jack, who was nearly biting back laughter at the amused expressions from their comrades. "What do you think?" Jack asked through a fit of giggles, glancing at the soldier's reaction. "It is." Zar'karn paused, searching for the right words. "Delightfully perplexing." "Exactly," Jack exclaimed, joining in the boisterous laughter. "There's joy in the unexpected." And so, they celebrated deep into the night, under the soft glow of twilight and the distant sparkle of stars on the horizon. Conversations meandered from the absurdities of battle to hopeful visions of the future. His perspective, once rigidly bound by duty, had begun to glow with the spirit of creativity and innovation fueled by friendship. "Tomorrow we plan for peace," Volker declared, her voice cutting through the hum of celebration. "And as we find our shared approaches to future skirmishes, we will make promises of unity, a pact to shape what lies beyond mere survival." The night echoed with the boys of cheer as they joined together in an anthem that blared both past and hope into the universe. As dawn broke over Arinax 7, the world before them unfolded like a vast canvas, a testament to resilience and evolution painted in vibrant strokes of laughter, acceptance, and friendship. Zar'karn Flexi IV stood with his allies, now friends, his heart swelling with optimism and a promise to adapt. Together they ventured toward a new future. An alliance sculpted from the unexpected joy found in chaos would ripple across galaxies, reaffirming the notion that, regardless of race or creed, it is love, laughter, and the spirit of togetherness that lead to triumph. Their legacy would stretch under the starlit sky, knitted from the joyous resonance of interconnected stories, echoes of war transmuted into songs of peace, and laughter flourishing amidst the vast expanse of alien wonders, an everlasting reminder of what it truly means to be alive.